Hey friendos, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Matt and we are back with some more Marvel Future Fight. And as you can see, we have a little character advancement available. Notice underneath our team sign, which can mean only one thing. We have got a character ready to either transcend or tier 3. So, as you can see, it is Kingpin. Now, what I'm about to do, I would never recommend to anyone who either, one, doesn't have the latest uniform for a character, especially if that character is only good with a seasonal uniform, which can only be purchased once a year, whether it's either through a full price crystals or through actual real money. And secondly, I would never suggest advancing a character that you aren't fully intending to build up. However, I'm purely doing so because I've got to the point in the game where I don't necessarily need to build tier 3s for content clearing, but I really need to get more tier 3s and transcended characters so I can get story fragments, which is literally the only reason why we've bothered advancing to tier 3 Kingpin. So you can see here, I've literally done nothing to him. I've maxed out his skills and that's about it. But the reason we have done this is purely because I've been struggling to get certain fragments in story mode. I've managed to get most of all the other stages, but 7.3 and 8.1 I've been struggling with this month. So we already went ahead and transcended Baron Mordo, even though we only have his Doctor Strange uniform, and not the Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness one. And now we have Kingpin with his awful, god-awful Secret Wars uniform. But it just had to be done. Luckily, sadly we don't have rescue, but luckily we've got someone like Thena who can just carry these two. So I don't actually have to worry about building them up so that they can actually clear any content. But yeah, it's not anything I would ever recommend to anyone unless you are a veteran player. Or you've got a lot of spare resources and you have nothing else and no one else to advance or transcend for any other reason. I know people are speculating on who the next tier 4 would be, but luckily you don't need tier 3 books for that, so it doesn't matter too much. And there we go, we went ahead and completed it and we still didn't get any story fragments anyway, so you can see we're a bit low on these ones. 31, it's the lowest out of all of the stages. So yeah, that was part of what I wanted to do today, just more of a PSA really, because I do see people transcending and advancing characters like Kingpin, but they don't have the uniform for, and when a character is only good with a payable uniform, it's really not worth it. So the other thing I wanted to do today is some artifact rolling in the hopes that we might get one of the new ones for either Thor or Jane Foster. I mean, hopefully we should be getting a vault mission towards the end of the month, a personal vault for an artifact, whether that will be Valkyrie or Jane Foster or Thor himself, we don't know. But I figured I got about 6,000 odd Celestial Essence, so why not make a few rolls? And we are not doing too well so far. Yikes. Okay, we got a couple of 3s, they're not too bad. Due to the way the game is nowadays, I am looking to get more of the 3-star generic artifacts as opposed to actual character specific ones, which have got more instinct based stats, so instinct crit damage, etc. Kind of useful. So let's have a look and see if we manage to get any of those. We go over to artifacts. So you can see here things like instinct crit damage, instinct crit rate, things like that is what we want to keep, which is why we've got some of these locked. But things like decreases pierce damage, increases concentration, these things aren't really particularly great for any specific thing. They were made for PvP, but as we know, they're not massively useful for PvP because all the meta PvP characters, or most of them, have got their own specific artifacts, such as your Colossus and your Hellas and your Adam Warlocks, etc. So let's go ahead and lock instant crit damage. We'll have that one. Were there any others? I don't think so. I think that was the only one. Yeah, things like concentration. Instant crit defense isn't amazingly helpful. You want to go for more attack based ones. Destruction. Yes, we'll lock that one as well. Okay, so we shall get rid of all of those. So from the 6,000 odd essence, we've got about a third back, 2,500. So we can do another 10 pulls. Hopefully we'll get something. And it's just as well that this isn't a one of the paid ones, because at this rate of return, you'd be very, very upset to get no decent artifacts. Okay, we've got a couple more 3s, so at least that's something. I'm not doing very lucky today though. Oof, that's a bad one. Mostly 1s there. Yikes. Okay, so very much diminishing returns on the second lot of pulls. Let's see if we got any of use though. Let's just swap the rank over, so we'll have these at the top. Instant crit damage, so yes, we'll lock that. It's justice. We don't really need many more justice ones. I think we'll be okay with just the one. Instant crit damage decrease. That's not what we want. It sounds like it, but it's actually not, because it's a decrease. So it's a decreasing the amount you're receiving, which kind of not really necessary, unless you're like, you know, in Alliance Conquest or something, I suppose. So we'll get rid of that lot. It's not leaving us with very many, so we can do another 4 pulls here. Oof. Oh, okay. And ow, that one really hurts. 10 1-star. Yikes. Yeah, artifact pulling really is just, it's just not worth it. And no matter how many Celestial Essence you actually save up, you can see here, we've gone through, we went through 6,400, then we had 2,500, then 1,000. And we're going to get enough back here to do another pull, or another 10 pull, but you're just not getting anything. And I think this is why people have stopped playing Timeline Survival, because no matter how much you put into it, the returns you're receiving are just not worth the amount of effort and time spent. And now the game has changed. The game has slightly changed over the last sort of 6 months or so, with story mode being something that yes, you can autoplay, but it still takes up time. You know, you hit autoplay and then leave it, but it still takes time to actually go through. And with that, Multiverse Invasion, the new GBR content, there's just no time left for Timeline Survival. So I really think the MFF devs need to go back and look at Timeline Survival and say, look, Timeline Survival was a good idea when it first came out. It was something new, it was something different, and we appreciated it for that. And getting tier 3 materials was actually really good. Then they changed it to only be getting Celestial Essence and artifacts, and I'd love to see the numbers, but I don't think anyone plays it anymore, that game mode. And if they maybe changed it to get some tier 4 materials, you can see here I've barely equipped any Celestial artifacts, because unless you get one for a specific character, these generic ones aren't really much use. So yeah, I think if they change Timeline Survival to something where you could get maybe a mix of the old drops, where you got TCP and EOD, and maybe throw in some Life Seed or Souls of the Faltine, I really think the devs need to do that if they want people to use this game mode. Otherwise, you can see it just festering away in the corner, never used, and in 6 months they'll just say, do you know what, we'll get rid of it altogether, because it takes up probably a fair bit of the game's memory, and it's not being used. I'd love to see the metrics, and if I'm wrong, and if a lot of you guys do play it, then let me know in the comments below, but I don't think I am. But anyway, there we go, a load of useless pulls, and that's that for this one. Take care.